Hello everyone. Uh, it's a long time since I did this last blog. When I did the last one I said it's been a long time, but this has been even longer. It's 5 weeks since I did the last one. It's not because I haven't wanted to, I just haven't had time. I know they don't take masses of time to do, but there's been so many other things going on at the moment, not so much with tractors, but business, you know. And I'm afraid the business has to come first because that's what pays for the tractors. So, when I left you last time, we did a quick tour of the rally field and we completed it, and I actually said, yeah, we're finished, we're all cleared up. Well, I can tell you now, we had cleared up, but there was a few odds and ends left there, some waste paper bins and some barriers, the signs on the gate, and 2 tractors, and we actually finished up moving those last week. Why it's taken so long I don't know, but we just couldn't get to it. It was either weather against us or couldn't get timed up. I needed, especially the tractors, I needed Ian there, and we had to get Steve Tippett came with his lorry and was trying to time that up, but both came to my 754 and the 1124 with the crane on were disabled. Nothing too serious for either one, fortunately, but still too disabled to be able to drive home. So that wasn't very easy. Loading the 754 wasn't too bad because the clutch hadn't gone, but I think what's happened to it, I think the pin that, or the clevis that pushes the thrust bearing in, I think the pin that actually holds it to the shaft has either come out or sheared. Apparently it's something that can happen, and the way it's described when it went wrong, it wasn't me driving it, but it just went suddenly, and there's no noise, so it's not a fatal collapse or anything in there. I think it's just that silly pin. Unfortunately, it's not so easy to get to, but that's such is life. And then the big cane tube with the crane on, again, not expensive. I needed 3 studs like that. That's all it needs. But they were 30 quid, I think, for the 3 of them, and we managed to get 1 out, but 2 are just absolute pigs, can't shift them, so we had to bring it back, and with no steering, loading that with a crane wasn't easy. Ian was the hero. He actually drove it, and I just stood on the floor and shouted at him. I'd like to have filmed it, I should have done, but again, we were focusing on what we got to do, and I'm afraid didn't do it. But it went fairly smoothly, but it's like driving an all-drive county. You no steering at all. In fact, I'll just show you that for a minute, because that's a nice little break. Bringing it home itself wasn't a problem once you've got it on a lorry, but you try loading it without steering. We did it. We had to lock off the front axle and treated it like an all-drive, where you just did it on skid steering. I've got to say, I stood on the floor and gave instructions. Ian was the one driving. This was the big problem. We got these bolts sheared off when we were at the rally. Managed to get 1 out, the other 2 were being pretty resistant, so we couldn't do anything with it on the rally field. We've had to bring it home. So that's the 1124. The 754, I'll do a little film of that because I like it. I might repeat myself a bit on this because I talk at the same time, but never mind. Unfortunately, this one was another rally casualty. I don't think it's anything too serious, but it's just a bloody nuisance to get in to do it. I think what's happened is the pin that pushes the thrust bearing back on the clutch is sheared, and to get to it, obviously you've got to split it. But it went suddenly, and it's definitely just lack of movement on the clutch itself. So we've got to tear it apart, and it's just a case of get to it. But it's a bit bigger than a 5,000, although that's what it is. A bit more work than just an ordinary 5,000. But I do know this tractor has been in pieces, or a lot of pieces, a long time before this, so it shouldn't be too bad to do. So my little favourite is out of commission at the moment. It's time it came in on a little bit of a brush up anyway. Bonnet needs cleaning off. But that's our next mission when I get Ian back. He's been very busy just lately. So we intend having a go at this in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Hopefully before Christmas it will be done. The other one is the 885. The last time we talked about that, it was still in the workshop. We'd put it all together and really it was ready to drive out. But believe it or not, that didn't come out till last week. Just been manic here, it has. It's well, it's not so much. Well, business has taken up a lot of my time, but I've had an awful lot of other things going on as well. So it's it just soaks it up. So that had to be done. The 885 is finally out of the workshop. It's been stood in there for weeks. We've did the gearbox and put it back together, and all it really needed was a battery, but I just hadn't got one, didn't have time to put it on, and it was all ready to take to the rally, and we didn't even do it in the end. There was far too many other things to do. But it's all good now, just needs a little bit of freshening up really, but a cracking little tractor. This is another project we're halfway through. This building has never had a level floor in it. It was built over an old silage pit, and it wasn't very useful for doing anything practical. It was all right for storage, but even then not good. So I've taken the old concrete floor out and reduced it by probably a foot at the back. We've got the concrete down now, and in the very near future we're putting a mezzanine floor up on the back bay, up to the level of that cladding rail. And then all this stuff, a load of cardboard boxes, is going up on the mezzanine. And then when all that's out, and we've got this floor space free, I'll take it the rest of this floor, the old floor, and we'll put new concrete down. So there you are, just a catch up really. I will have a bit more content coming up because we're going to hit these tractors and things. I definitely, our rush is over at the moment. We finished off the big player we were doing up in Loughborough. We've got a mezzanine floor we're doing in Bristol at the moment. That will be finished this coming week, and 2 of the lads are out in Mexico putting up a slide, which we've also built and sent off during this time. So as you can imagine, it's been a bit hectic. Right, just going back to the rally, I didn't exactly say what we'd done. I knew we'd done well. Well, when we totted it all up, we've actually made £21,500 to give to charity. Now, before anybody runs away with the idea that, you know, we're doing too much or charging too much or whatever, I don't know. The costs of putting that rally on doubled, and we need, you know, a big fat sum there to ensure that it's all okay. Everything about the rally this year was as good as you could get it. You know, we had the right programme. People hadn't been to the rally for 2 years, so they were determined to turn up and enjoy themselves, and they did. I had a lot of fuss because I implemented a £20 charge if you wanted to camp over the weekend, and I was really, I want to say pissed off, but I can't say that on the video. I was really peed off with a certain group that really rebelled against it, and they should have known better, because all these rallies are going to struggle with the costs. and we've got to ensure that if we have a bad rally, we can cover our costs. Now, we've been fortunate because we made a decent profit. We've not only got that money to put away, we've got a bit more we've put into our fund, which lights have gone out. Come on. I obviously haven't paid the bill. Anyway, you can see me. Yeah, we've put some aside, so we're sitting pretty. We've got our own marquees and stuff, but you know, we've worked damned hard to get those over the years, and that's what makes it successful. And hopefully we help out other rallies as well. So this little group that campaigned, and it was active campaigning, you know, they were going around a couple of rallies before saying, do you know Morgan Rally's going to charge you 20 quid to get in this time? Well, we weren't charging 20 quid to get in. If you came your exhibit, you came in for nothing, you had your free tickets, but what we were saying was we're putting a lot of entertainment on for you. It's worth 20 quid to stop. And the vast majority were absolutely delighted to pay it, and they understood why we were doing it. But one group in particular, who I'm not going to mention, were noticeable by their absence. And to be honest, nobody missed them. You know, they've made a lot of fuss about how wonderful they were and how we couldn't cope without these exhibitors. Well, I can tell you we did cope without you, and you know, you please yourself whether you come back. You made fools of yourselves, you know, no doubt about it. You have made absolute fools of yourselves because everything I'd said was proved right. Anyway, enough of that ramble. Yeah, everything was good about the rally. We're going to definitely do it again. As a result of what we've done at the rally, the landowner, Paul Jameson, has realised that the site potential is quite good there, and so whereas it was going to be ploughed up, now it's not going to be ploughed up, and there'll be more events held on those fields, and St Morgan Rally will also be there next year. They're going to do Run to the Sun, which is like a Volkswagen Fest for those that don't know, so that's already booked up, and I've no doubt there'll be more events. I'll certainly pay better than wheat anyway. So that's where we are with that. I think that's all I got to tell you really, and this will be, I don't know if it's going to be short or long, to be honest. I don't know how long I've been talking, but anyway, that's enough from me now. I'll try and get another blog done a bit quicker. I'm back in the mood a bit. I've caught up a lot of stuff, so you know, it should be okay. So thank you for watching. If you got this far, if you can press the likes and saves and bells and God knows what, you know, it helps me. Still got a long way to go before they'll start paying me for these YouTube blogs, but do our best anyway. Okay, see you soon. Cheers, bye for now.